Hello, everybody. This is Adam.
I'm Andrew.
And you're listening to the A Strings Podcast. Music. So welcome to episode 2.
Hope you're all well out there.
Thank you for all the kind comments you've given us so far for episode 1. And we're going to delve right in. Today is the NAMM heavy episode, so there's lots to talk about. Lots of things being released as we record this. So we're going to try and cover what we've discovered so far and what we're allowed to talk about.
Just to give you a bit of a picture with regards to what I'm seeing right now, Adam is sat down in all in black, which isn't that surprising because he does like the colour black quite a bit, but it's quite a tight T-shirt top with like a turtleneck.
It's a turtleneck jumper.
Turtleneck jumper. But the thing is,
it's the milk tray man. But I know I'm sat in front of black as well.
You're sat in front of a black background, so I do glance up every now and again, and it does look just like a floating head. I'll take a picture and we'll post it up on.
So
we've had a really good reaction from episode 1 as well. Yeah,
it's gone really, really well.
Given that it's only like 5-6 days since we released it and stuff.
Yeah. So it went out on last Thursday.
Yeah.
And
we're recording this on Tuesday.
This is the Tuesday ready for the Thursday for the episode 2. Do you want to delve right in for the news? Hang on, picture.
Yeah.
Do you want to delve right in with the news?
What news?
Well,
the important news or the NAMM news?
Well, we've got the important news coming up, but just on anything that's happened since we recorded. We've got for the shop some new. We've had some new PRSs in.
Yeah, really nice PRSs.
Yep. So all of the SE line, but some really new pieces that we haven't had in before, and
I've not prepped at all for this episode because I did my lists and everything last week, so I thought
that's okay.
I'm into it a little bit.
I got this. You made an order for some Japanese takamines.
Yeah,
which was really, really nice.
Collector's edition. We've got today meeting our new Fender rep for the first time, which will be nice.
I was thinking about this. Did we talk about Terry in the last episode?
No, I don't think we did. But
do you want to give people a little quick?
Terry was our Fender rep since the beginning of A Strings in Treforest. I met him when I was down in Cardiff Bay for the first time and told him what we were going to be doing here. And he came along and had a look at the premises with me. And he basically helped us out from the very beginning. So when we heard he was leaving Fender at the end of last year, pretty gutted really. But we've been told that Sean is an absolute blast. He's Irish, so he's covering us from over there. Meeting him today for the first time.
Bro.
And Terry, I believe, is opening up a guitar shop / coffee shop down in Oakhampton.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's where he lives.
Yeah. And he's one of those reps that would you'd offer him a cup of coffee and you'd make it for him and he wouldn't touch it because he'd have a sniff. He'd remember that, it's not artisanal coffee. So he used to bring his own coffee bags, like tea bags. They used to go.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, I remember that.
And the last time he came to visit me was the first time he'd given me a cup of his coffee in the bags.
Was it?
Yeah, and it was really, really good.
First time he shared with you.
Yeah.
So that'd be nice though.
Yeah.
I imagine
we'll have to pop down and.
we will definitely pop down.
Yeah.
I imagine it's quite a nice little area as well.
Yeah.
Oh, that'd be cool. Well, we do love Terry, and I'm excited to meet Sean.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's gonna be cool.
To be sure.
Oh God. Here we go. So this adds your tally of Irish people you know up by 1 now.
Yeah.
Because we were flabbergasted by the
for the list
by the influx.
Trina, Kate, and Kieran,
and now Sean.
Yeah, and I think there are 1 or 2 others. Brian.
Brian who comes in.
Brian,
of course. Yeah.
Big hands.
That's going to be a top 5 list, I'm sure, somewhere.
Yeah,
Customers with the biggest hands.
Yeah.
You know now if you come in and we shake your hands and we're checking and we're really studying those hands, that you might make the top list.
When the handshake lasts just half a second longer than is comfortable, like you know that there's all sorts of attention being paid to this gesture.
So we had Steve from Blackstar come in.
Yes, yeah.
And
what a man. So
he actually listened to the podcast on the way down.
He came in on Friday and the podcast went out on Thursday.
Yes.
So, that's pretty phenomenal. So he came in with a selection of biscuits like I've never seen.
Yeah. So
good quality biscuits. Yeah. Are we jumping the gun yet?
We'll give a rundown of them.
Naturally gone into biscuit.
We'll give a rundown in Biscuit News. We'll do that.
Sorry.
No, don't be sorry. It's exciting.
Yeah, why am I apologising?
I'm your boss. What? So Steve brought down the new HT20, which is the amp that we were discussing last week. And
I haven't heard it, but you played through it, didn't you?
Yeah, we've done a little video. I played through it. Very, very, very nice.
It's the Blues Junior, not the Blues Junior.
It's the advert. Yeah, it's the yeah. We asked him about the advert as well. Obviously, he doesn't design these adverts and go out and things like that. But he had a couple of interesting things to say. One was that Blackstar is basically going back when they first started. Obviously, they are ex-Marshall guys. That's the story. They
a little bit antagonistic when they first came out.
When they first came out,
to ruffle some feathers.
Yeah, and they basically it looks like they're just going to be going down that line in terms of a few advertisements again. Just to kind of ruffle some feathers. And actually, it's quite good because
everyone's a little bit too nice to each other. I think everyone's a little bit scared of offending the other one. Why not? It makes it a little bit more interesting, doesn't it?
And it was interesting because last time we were discussing it, it was to see whether this would stand up to the Ballsy advert. It's a brilliant amp. It is a very, very good amp. It's a complete redesign of the old 20. It's not nothing like the old 20.
So is it more of a kind of continuation of like the HT5 in with regards to features and
so what Steve said was think of it as the HT5's bigger brother as opposed to what it used to be, which was the 40's little brother.
Right.
That was the way of describing it. Voice switchable on both channels, so essentially you've got 4 2 cleans, 2 overdrive styles on over 2 channels. It sounds great. Does sound really, really good.
And it's based on a Blues Junior style kind of.
It's weird because I think they've just gone after someone. I think they've just spun a bottle and just gone after someone. Maybe it's a similar sort of size and
maybe it's like
wattage.
What's that thing where you go into jail and the first thing you do when you go into jail
is punch the biggest guy.
Fight with the biggest guy there.
Yeah. Maybe. Yeah. But no, it sounded really, really nice. He also brought in one of the Studio 10 amps as well, and he's done a little spotlight video for us. They'll be going out probably next week, Tom? Friday. They'll be going out Friday. Oh, he's giving himself a day as well. Those are going out Friday. And you've heard it here first, so that's tomorrow by the time you listen to this. Or yesterday if you're in the future. Really, really cool. Who else has been in?
Andy Barnes and Mullins.
Yeah, Barnes.
Brought no biscuits, so we'll brush over that one.
No, and we've told him. We've told him now. So next time, Andy.
He looked at us and laughed at you, and yeah, okay. Well, forget us. Ignore us at your peril.
Yeah, you know. Did you have any news?
There's quite a few of the manufacturers now and the suppliers. This might be a little bit boring, but it's quite interesting. You're probably going to notice a bit of a difference. Listeners are going to notice a bit of a difference consumer-wise, in as much as the likes of Fender, Faith, Blackstar, and I think Korg are starting to do it as well. They're only going to allow retailers to list online what they've actually got in stock or what they've got on order. So if we've got something on order, and if I order a Fender Stratocaster and Fender haven't got it in stock, that's fine. I'm allowed to list it because I've got it on order from them.
Right.
But if I've if basically what they're trying to do, they're trying to stop a lot of these boys from out there that are stocking things at a lower price and they haven't got them in stock.
Yeah.
Because basically
we see that happening a lot.
Loads. So, yeah.
I mean, that's news to me. That's the first I've heard of it.
Yeah, yeah.
And
I can tell by the shocked look in your face.
Yeah, that's really... And
a
to be
shocked
honest,
floating head.
I was going to say, all there is my face.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that could really... You think of the website size of some of these big boys. If they can't... Do you know what I mean? If they can't physically have the items on their website if they haven't got them.
Yeah. It's going to take a lot of policing, and it'll be interesting to see how it works out. There's, as I mentioned last week, there's lots of turbulence out there at the moment, and things do kind of hit the fan every few years anyway, and you get these kind of, the big boys spit their dummies out, and you get a lot of kind of fighting amongst them to try and win market share, and then things kind of calm down. And when things like that happen, suppliers do try to enforce different rules just to try and get everybody to behave themselves.
Okay.
So this is the newest one now, and it is legal. Apparently, you are allowed to enforce this if you've not got it in stock and you've no intention of getting it in stock. So you haven't placed an order for it. You can't have it on the website. So even for us, the size we are of the shop that we are and where we are, there's absolutely no way on earth we can stock everything that's in the Fender catalog. Or, choose a catalog. You can't afford and you can't physically have everything in stock. So, the bigger guys who've obviously got the greater capacity to be able to do these things, they should be having a greater selection of stock on their websites, which they'll benefit from. But, with some of the guys out there that are just listing things with no stock on the shelves, well, they're going to have to stop doing it. Like I say, how the suppliers police that, I don't know,
but there is a downside, and from our point of view, where we are able to list, think of things like the Fender players that came out. Because Fender was so oversold, we didn't see a player in stock for a long while. But it would hinder us to not have the player series on the website.
But we had them on order.
Right. Okay. Yeah. Okay. But what about things like...
I question that...
Legacy Fender things. So we've had it in stock, it's sold.
Yeah.
Or do we then have to take it off the website until we order another one?
Apparently.
Which is difficult when someone goes onto our website looking for things.
Yeah.
And they're like, they would think, they don't stock American... I know this is the extreme example, but they don't stock American Fender, so I'll go somewhere else. Just as an example,
Yeah. No, it's... there'll be an adjustment period, and it'll be interesting to see if people do, abide by the rules, and if they don't, how the suppliers kind of react to it. But you might go onto websites in 3-4 weeks' time and notice that they've got a far smaller selection than they did at the beginning of the year. They're probably not. They probably got the same amount of stock that they've always had, but it's just what they're allowed to list is different. What it will encourage is for, shops to get a little bit more adventurous with what they're ordering in, because, for example, like a left-handed 12-string Gretsch, which would be an investment that you think, I'll never sell this. If you're the only person with one online, at some point, you're going to sell it a lot quicker than you would before, because
rather than waiting for that customer
because in the
to turn
meantime
up.
Somebody might have gone on to whatever website, seen that you can get this guitar at a cheaper price because they haven't got it in stock, just order it from them,
and then usually it's the sort of
so the people who have got it in stock are the ones who are losing out.
They usually sort of, from the stories that I've heard from people, when there's things that are not in stock, usually it'll be like the sort of the cat and ball thing, where they'll say, we've ordered it this week, and then
but
the
if
week
you
after comes, and then it's like, we've it's going to be. There's been a few instances where customers have come to us and they've basically been lied to,
to fed up, and they've got they've come to us to physically place an order.
While we're talking of big boys, this isn't going where you think it's going, Andrew, but we're in news. So this week there's been 2 press releases from Gibson. Now, we don't stock Gibson, but Gibson are a
They got in touch with us. They wanted to deal with us a little while ago. And we chose not to because it wasn't a very good point from what we were told by other shops and by other reps with regards to how they were, how easy they were to deal with.
Yeah,
it wasn't the right time for us to do it,
Yeah.
but it'd be lovely to be able to.
Yeah. So they've, they're probably the most talked about guitar brand of the last, especially the last 12 months. Sort of new CEO. There's new, there's new chairs of pretty much every department. So they've announced their new line. They are going to NAMM this year. Last year they didn't.
Yeah, they didn't.
bother.
They did the CS show, didn't
Yeah,
they? So
which
it
is-
shows how they lost their way. They felt more in line with Samsung and Apple than they did with Fender and PRS.
It's bonkers. So their new line is all stripped back. It's basically, it's almost as if they've read the forums, and they've sat around a table and said what the customers want, and actually read and listened to what customers want rather than decide for themselves. So there's nice, simple new lines. There's a modern option for people if they want that modern sort of 4 push poles and all that sort of bits and pieces. But they've done away with all of the mod cons, all of the robot stuff and holograms and
brilliant. And
everything.
prices come down a bit as well.
Yeah. So they've started to put prices out. There's a couple of new lines with cheaper pricing. But I was looking yesterday, and I think there was an American SG, which was just under $2,000. So I don't know what that is exchange rate wise.
Yeah,
but
it won't be far off dollars for pounds. But that's good.
But
so they've obviously
locking
listened to forums in that respect. But I think I don't think it's as much of a problem in the States as it is over here. But I think the next thing that they need to tackle is
the way that they deal with
with shops, because we've had a quiet day today, but I've had 3 conversations about Gibson.
All right.
Customers want to see the stuff, and I think that when you're dealing with an instrument that is, every instrument is an investment. Any money that you spend on something like this, you want to make sure that you're getting everything for your money, and you've got the backup for it. And you're not going to want to spend $1,500, $2,000, $3,000 on a guitar that you've got no kind of recourse with.
No.
If you've got no backup with it, it's a dangerous thing.
Watch this space, I guess. It's going to be, it's a conversation that.
Funny enough, the one customer who came in today brought in his Explorer.
Yeah.
Pelham Blue Explorer with robot machine heads on, and he wants a set of lock-in tuners for the thing, because he wants to take the robot off. Yeah.
It was, I think, 2012, 2013 was probably that was the most common thing. Got the guitar, take them off. But so I just think it's interesting. It's going to be an interesting one to watch, and hopefully it's just going to keep going in that right direction. And if there's if there's a sort of conversation, I mean, there's no UK supplier, is it? It's direct at the moment.
It's direct, yeah.
So, but yeah, I just think it's an interesting one. We just cut that bit out. We were just Tom Jones in.
Big news was the state of our water on Friday.
Oh my God. I mean, Andrew had to angry tweet.
Welsh water.
Angry
Cymru
tweet
Dŵr.
So there's, I guess we have to apologise because there are customers that came in and had tea and coffee with us. Now,
but we didn't realise, and I tell you why we didn't realise, because I made a concerted effort to consume more water than normal on Friday, because my water consumption is poor at the moment at best. So it was only because I got distracted by somebody and turned away and only looked back to see the tap running without my flask underneath it, to see that the water was turd brown.
Oh yeah, it
absolutely.
Was bad. It was bad.
It was disgusting.
But the worst thing is that because of the way that you think of, when you fill a kettle,
you put the kettle up to the tap.
You put the kettle up to the tap.
You
turn
put the flask up to the tap. Yeah.
So you don't see the water.
No,
and then your tea bag or coffee's in the mug already.
Yeah.
So when that goes in, it's become brown.
So I don't live very far away from the shop at the moment, and I text my wife, Kate, to say, I sent her a picture. I said, look at this water. It's filthy. We've been drinking from it all day. And she texts back saying something along the lines of, yeah, we had a text to say don't use the water between 12 o'clock and 6 o'clock in the evening.
So I've got news. It's something in the pipeline that might be quite interesting for me.
Job opportunities?
We were always on Monster. Other job websites are available. So we were here Friday, and it was weird because we had Steve from Blackstar here, and it was almost like a Blackstar artist reunion. Because
it was mad, wasn't it? Yeah.
So we had James here
from the Manic Street
from
Preachers.
The Manic Street Preachers. I was being careful. I didn't want to say that he'd been in the shop in case he didn't want anyone fucking knowing. Did he buy stuff like a person? And then my old friend from a long, long time ago, Darren, who used to be in Funeral for a Friend, the Welsh band, was here, who was also a Blackstar artist.
The first ever Blackstar.
Yeah, they were the first band to be signed to that. So we got talking, and we're gonna try and sort of do some sort of musical project together. And it's really weird because obviously when I was younger, they were
Funeral for a Fear,
a band that I would listen to. That's what we're going to call it. Yeah. The rest of the band have to sign off on it.
Yeah.
We've been back and forth with some ideas and stuff. But that's my news. It's quite.
We've had a hell of a week, Biscuit News wise.
Yeah. So
we touched upon it earlier on, but
yeah, after
really,
last
really
week's introduction to Biscuit News, we have had an influx. But first, let's introduce it properly. Biscuit News! There we go. Okay. So Steve from Blackstar popped in, and he brought us in basically a shed load of cookies, but they weren't just any cookies.
No.
This was Sainsbury's Taste the Difference. The real deal. And they were all different. So we had three packs.
So we had the chocolate chip ones.
Standard chocolate chip, which were amazing.
Raspberry and white chocolate.
My favourite ones.
And then the caramel and
salted
chocolate.
Caramel, Tom?
Yeah.
So was it salted caramel and chocolate in there?
Unfortunately, we're talking about these in a past tense because
we've eaten them all.
Well, yeah, and you've got to eat them before they go off, these ones, because they're better on the day.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
they
yeah,
were amazing.
he listened to the podcast within like 24 hours of us putting it. Not even that, probably less than that. We put it up in the evening. Yeah. He's listened to it on the way down.
No, it was brilliant. And actually, Steve is the product demonstrator for Blackstar, so Steve is the guy you'll see on all their videos, and like Steve will be in NAMM now.
But he's kind of moved up the chain a bit as well, and he's become our
he's our rep as well.
So he's a sales manager.
So he's got a lot of stuff to deal with. But he's always brilliant and always comes in and does videos for us. And any questions we've got in terms of these product lines and things, he's always top on the ball. But yeah, just that little gesture as well.
Yeah,
it was nice. It was nice to see. And then we had one of our really good friends and customer, Dr. Dan.
He remained nameless. He didn't want his name to be mentioned.
Oh, doesn't he?
So just call him Mr.
Okay,
Dr. Whippy, we'll call him.
Yeah. Also, literally his name. So our good friend with the pseudonym, Dr. Whippy, real name, popped in on
late Friday because I had to go
shoot off,
and
he brought us these. Now Tom was talking to him. So are these? Spin them so I can see the pack. So so these are called Border Family Biscuits, dark chocolate gingers, and the only thing I can say is that there is a lot of ginger in that biscuit.
There's a lot of ginger.
They are strong.
Yeah,
really, really strong. It's good. Really, really good, but it is strong. So for the benefit of the tape, Andrew and Tom have both got a mouthful of these biscuits. So I'm going to keep talking. Right. So this is an M&S shortbread. It's an entire Christmas tin of shortbread from, again,
is that a moose?
One of our favorite. That's a deer, or it'd be a reindeer, I guess. If it's kind of, I don't know.
Maybe
you can tell we're all
stag.
Yeah, we're well up on our animals. this is one of our other great customers and friends, Clive, popped in on Saturday.
CW.
And brought us these. Now, there's a conspiracy theory. I don't believe it, right? So the conspiracy theory is, and you'll be listening, so you'll be able to tell us, were these or were these not a Christmas gift to you, Clive? Because this is what the boys think. Now, I don't think so. I think these were bought for us because I know that that's the type of person you are.
They're sealed. These are...
There's one missing.
No, do you know what, though? So these are in the shape of...
They're Scottish shortbread. Yeah, so they're like thistles and...
Is that like one of those sea anemones kind of...
No, it's a thistle.
That.
That's a thistle. There's a shield.
Shield, a coat of arms.
Yeah. Yeah, shortbread's always like that. You're going to drop that lid now. It's going to... There we go. Right, so Andrew's going to bust that open. So, Biscuit News has really been a success. Now, we didn't expect people to, bring us biscuits, especially you guys and customers and things. Reps, you're on your toes. We're expecting it. Customers-wise, you're absolutely...
Maybe we should have some
golden.
kind of league table.
Well, if you're going to encourage a league table, then I don't want people scrapping in the shop over a box of bourbons. You know.
That one looks like a giant pick.
That does look like a plectrum. Yeah. You carry on. What?
We reinforcing the word plectrum because it might have sounded like something else.
Well, you're the mouth full of shortbread and it's a podcast. I was just letting them know that, yeah. Is that it for Biscuit News?
For Biscuit News, yeah, I think so. So, yeah, Black Star are the...
top of the rep table.
Yeah.
Obviously.
Yeah.
Cool. So, hit the music.
Biscuit News!
So today we are talking about NAMM. Now, we are kind of in the midst of all the announcements. We are not quite at the show yet in terms of, it hasn't kicked off. But let's talk about what we do know so far and what we've sort of got kind of coming in and things like that. And then
Thursday, which is when this is going out, is when most of the big announcements are being made. I think looking at Fender's kind of schedule and all the other things, I think by the time this goes out, most of the big things will have been announced anyway. So let's start with a brand.
Cool. Do you want me to pick?
Yeah.
Marshall.
Right, we got Andy from Marshall coming in next week, actually. We've already got some of these on order, but they've got these amazing new low-powered British-made JCM 800.
Yep.
Jubilee.
Yep.
And Plexi.
Yeah, 1959, yeah.
Yeah. And, head and cap version or combo version, but they're down to, they're 20-watt amps, aren't they, with them power scaling down again.
Yes,
so
to
you
2
can,
watts, I think.
Yeah, so you can use them all at home. You can use them direct out for recording. They're all more than giggable because 20 watts is as much as you need for gigging as well.
Yeah.
I was talking about them to somebody in the shop earlier on, and they said, they should have done this ages ago, but I see it as a positive step with regards to they're identifying what they need to do.
Yeah.
And, I think that Marshall have got a really, really damn good range of amps out at the moment.
Yeah. And you think that, gone are the days of the 120 watt head, 150 watt.
The only reason you'd ever want anything that loud now is if you needed loads and loads of headroom for clean stuff, I think. I don't think that you'd ever need, I don't think that anybody, or even, big touring bands, unless it's for show, you don't need amps that are that big because...
No. Well, that's why you see so many of these, these amp top boxes now and these, attenuators and power soaks and things like that. I think most of the market are at home. Even if you are gigging, you play at home.
Yeah.
Or if you're practicing at home. And having a 100 watt Jubilee head, how loud can you put that in the house?
Yeah.
Unless you're in a,
And for 95% of Marshall users who are going to be seeking the, the all out gain channels, having something smaller is going to produce the tones that they are actually looking for in the first place.
Yeah, exactly. So these are the studio series, I believe, aren't they?
Yeah.
Now the Jubilee is kind of it's just been sort of put into this series, isn't it? But there's already that mini head option and things. So yeah, JCM, that's going to be the one to look at, I think.
Yeah.
Is the 800.
Yeah.
Definitely.
So I think Marshall are pretty on the ball with regards to these things. So I think that with the last year with the DSLs, we had those like a day or two before they were actually announced, didn't we? So
Yes.
yeah.
So
I'd like to think that we've got these coming through as well. Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be really nice. But yeah, they're definitely on a roll with the Origins, the updated DSLs, and now these. You know, they are kind of coming back to
the fore.
Yeah.
Vox,
on the other hand,
who are my personal. I'm a Vox man. They're my favourites. So when they get things right, no one's happier than I am.
Yeah.
When they get things a little bit, when they seem to misread the market and the kind of mood out there
and the planet
you do kind of wonder where they're at, really.
So it's already been announced.
Yes,
by now. So
you've got basically our favourite amp of 2018, which was the Super Beetle, this little MV50 head, AC30 head with reverb and tremolo.
Yes.
On top of a wonderful kind of diamond grill cloth cabinet with a 10-inch.
Yes.
Celestian,
nice tall, the old vintage with the sort of with the head is sat on the
with
legs.
the kind of the old fashioned chrome stand. Absolutely fab. It looked amazing. It sounded even better.
Yeah.
So basically, they've taken a great thing and they've made it a bit more. I don't know what would you British.
That's the only thing I can.
So they've re-released it with Union Jack coverings as opposed to your nice kind of diamond grill cloth that everybody wants.
So the cloths have been replaced. So it's
the
not
cloth's been replaced.
Yeah.
No, so it's the same. So we've been calling it the Super Brexit.
Brilliant.
To be fair to them, I don't think that it's a decision made by British R&D. They design the amps. Vox is owned by the Japanese, and they had an idea to cover it in. They did this a little while ago. Do you remember we had the Union Jack wah pedals, Union Jack Pathfinders?
Oh yeah,
and
that's right.
Yeah.
Did we get any of them? Did we have any of them?
Yeah, we did.
Did we?
And the
I remember
especially
the UKIP was.
Yeah,
I remember them
in Rhondda Valley's kind of area of the world. I'm absolutely surprised that we've
don't still have them.
Yeah. I think that ideally, I think they're trying to target the mods.
Yeah.
And the kind of swinging 60s Britain kind of vibe, but it's just the wrong month to release a Union Jack amplifier.
Yeah. Tell me about it.
Yeah. And then
gone are the days of
and
of
then
ginger spice.
And they brought out two AC15s.
Yeah.
You wonder what the intentions are with it, because they've taken an AC15, they've given it to the Americans to assemble, and then put an American speaker in it, and warehouse speakers.
Warehouse, yeah. I didn't
not come across.
I
them
thought,
before.
yeah.
So what they're saying is that make your British AC15 sound a bit more American.
Yeah.
By putting one of these speakers in there,
which is weird because
you buy it for its Britishness. Surely, I don't know.
You buy a Vox because it's that British kind of woody kind of darker tone.
Exactly. It is the sound of British 60s music, 70s music, and it's been adopted by lots of other synths in different ways. But as it stands as an amplifier, you're buying it for its heritage. Yeah. So to muck about with it, I might be completely wrong with it.
This is just a limited though, isn't it? They're still doing the 15?
Oh yeah, you've got the normal
so
15. Yeah.
15.
So like I say, I just get a little bit disappointed sometimes when it seems like they've kind of just misread or missed a point of they haven't read the public that well, I don't think. But I might be completely wrong. This amplifier might sound absolutely amazing because of...
They might do. Yeah.
There's the VX15s and the 50.
Yeah.
Which is replacing the VX1 and 2.
Yeah. So the VX, the bigger of the two, the 50, is new tube loaded.
Right.
So it's the little ABS style. They're both ABS style housing. The 50 is much like the acoustic keyboard and bass ones that are the new tube loaded as well. They'll be interesting because the new tube stuff works really, really well, and they're going to be a good price point, I think, as well. So Yeah, they'd be quite cool to listen to. The acoustic one we sell a lot of, don't we? Because they're very, very nice acoustic amps.
I think that, with, the new tube stuff that they've developed now, I think that it's the obvious next step to replace the Valvetronics side of things, where they can have a proper valve amp alongside, something with digital effects and all that kind of thing. I think that's probably their next obvious route.
Mm. So the big chunk of what we have to talk about sits in with Fender, doesn't it?
Yeah,
now, Fender
loads of it, and
so much.
Yeah.
So should we just talk about kind of our favorite bits that we've seen?
Yeah. Well, interestingly, they released the Performer range back in November.
Yeah.
And looking at it, there is so much stuff that they've released now that I think that they probably did the Performer in November because it would just get lost amongst all of the other announcements that they've got for this.
I think with something as big as a line replacement like that, I think
you've got to do it separately
So the interesting thing with this year is you've got the alternate reality, which is taken over from the parallel universe. In as much as it's kind of those weird offsets. There's a Meteora in there.
In a Mexican range, that though, isn't it?
So these are Mexican, and they're available all throughout the year.
So you can order them within 2019, but I think it's quite clever on their part, in as much as they'll see what's popular. So you can order it through 2019, and in 2020 then and beyond, I think that at that point they'll have a good idea with regards to what people are interested in, what models, what colours, and that's what we'll probably see as continual product then after that.
Yeah, that's quite cool. So so there was a fair few in there.
Yeah, and so you mentioned the Meteoras.
So that's kind of the biggest one because that was such
Everybody
a big stir
loved
from last year, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was the model out of the lot that everybody really, really wanted to see. Yeah. We had the very first one in Europe.
We did,
and which was it wasn't deliberate. It was I think it was a gigantic kind of cock up on Fender's shipping. Part, but we had it through. We did a video, and the customer had it. He knew the moment that he saw it that he had to have it. So so we were looking forward to getting some more of these in, and they've released a Mexican range, which is wicked. They've got 2 humbuckers.
They have,
and because the other one, the American one, was single coils, wasn't it? So it was
a Telecaster.
Telecaster.
Yeah.
So this one's humbucker, split coils, and it's what the guitar should be. I think that it'll be. I think loads of people will take it up. I think that it's a really cool looking guitar. It's different, and with the humbucker side of things, I think it'll be.
Yeah, 3 different colours: Lake Placid blue, candy apple red, surf green, all like a metallic-y finish on them all. It's not maple with block inlays like the original Meteora. It's Pau Ferro, which is like the rosewood replacement with dots, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah. But all these little things that you might see as compromises, I just see them as being more for.
Oh no, I don't.
And I think that it's made the guitar a proper desirable piece. I think.
I know it's all preference. I'm rosewood over maple anyway. That's But more more high output rocky stuff. The guitar is so comfortable as well that it's gonna be a winner definitely. There's some really weird ones. There's the Strat 12.
Yeah,
12-string Stratocaster.
They're not going to sell every day, but it's nice to have an electric 12-string available. There's not much out there.
Electric 12-string that is sort of comfortable to sit and play with.
Yeah, it looks quite a bit like the old Burns kind of 66, I think. Or was it the 66 or the Bison? I can't remember, but it was quite a retro look to it because it didn't have some like a precision body, and they.
So that was another model.
That's a different one, is it?
Yeah. So there's there's another model in the range. So the 12 is just a Strat body with the big hockey headstock.
Yeah.
There's another model, I can't remember the name, but essentially it's the jazz bit, like from.
It's good to have notes.
from the bridge pickup down is like a jazz bass body, and it's got the jazz bass control plate and things like that. And then there's this kind of like a weird like jazz mastery thing above it. The pick guard's a different shape. Have a look, go and have a look at it's Fender alternate reality when they all get announced and see what it is. It is really like the parallel universe where they've taken stuff and it's more kooky, I think.
Yeah,
because it was just like Strat Telly, and and vice versa last year.
It kind of pawn. If do you remember the pawn shop range?
Yeah.
A while back, almost that kind of mentality, isn't it, behind it? But you've got that weird Telecaster.
The tenor tele.
So it's a ukulele, yeah?
Well, tenor guitar, yeah. It's 4-string.
Right.
4-string tenor guitar. And hang on, Tom's creeping over for some biscuits.
Tom wants a biscuit. Shortbread's with him.
You can't sneak over and get away with it. We're telling everyone. Tenor tele. So it's basically a tenor guitar, but it's a Telecaster. Available in a Lake Placid blue and butterscotch blonde.
Yeah.
Again, if you've got use for it, or people want it for the quirk.
It's nice to have these things out there. You know, like what will happen is they'll be available for a while, and then they'll disappear, and then you'll have random people asking from at random times because they need a tenor guitar,
electric guitar.
Yeah,
it's got like a 4-pole. It's the same. It's like single coils like a Telecaster, but like obviously 4-pole. That's the strangest one in terms of like market. In terms of like the market of guitar players, because it's just not a guitar, I guess, or a standard guitar.
So the American stuff, then we've got.
So that's the rarities, yeah.
The rarities, yeah. What is it? Exotic bits of wood and
it's very much like the Fender. Like it feels like the master builders in the custom shop have sort of drafted these ideas, and then they've found a way to do them at sort of not master built prices. Then you put it quite well before, where you've said that it's kind of Fender. It's the Fender tradition, but with kind of the PRS kind of showroom feel to it.
Sheen, yeah.
Yeah. So everything's like, like quadruple A quilt tops.
They're all posh-looking guitars. They're ones that you're going to want in your collection, kind of shining on the wall. None of them really kind of struck me as ones that you'll take out gigging. There's a couple of HSSs there, weren't there, maybe, which...
there were things like the basses, and there was a HSS Strat, which were less kind of glass cabinet style. The other ones were very much,
but much in the same vein as like any of the core line upwards of the PRS range. You're not going to want to scratch them. They're ones that you treat with a lot of care. The Jimmy Page Telecaster, big draw. I think that will be in the NAMM show.
Yeah,
we've ordered in. So of all the rarities collection, we've got one. I think we've got all of that coming in,
which means we can put it on our website.
And the Jimmy Page guitars, they've got a Mexican one and they've got an American one.
Yes,
the Mexican one is the pretty one. It really is the painted one.
I think the Mexican one is the Dragon, isn't it?
Yes,
and the American one is the
Mirror.
So the American one, the Mirror, that's the white. It's kind of a really light blonde Telecaster. Funny enough, Tom and I were watching some Yardbirds footage, and it's that Telecaster. Later on, you'll see it with like little circle mirrors on it, and they're actually giving you the mirrors like in the separately in the case you can stick on yourself. But so it's specially designed pickups, Jimmy Page pickups in it. I did the quotation marks for people who couldn't hear that. And then the Dragon is very much like his Dragon. Funnily enough, he's pictured with his Dragon he's just releasing a limited line of amps that was announced today. And he's got that guitar in the picture. I think it's the same guitar. I think my brother was telling me that the neck is the same. So the guitar changed. I think it got wrecked, and I think the neck is the same. I might be wrong, but yeah.
So, and I think there's a bit of Squire stuff. There's some...
Yeah, there's a lot of acoustic stuff. For as far as I know, the first time ever, they are doing production line of American acoustics.
Ah, well, no, they did...
so they
there's
done
like a
before?
custom shop line before.
Right.
Well, they called them custom shop, but they did have some going back 4 or 5 years ago.
Right,
but they were never very strong sellers because Fender wasn't really taken that seriously as an acoustic brand up until maybe about 8-9 years ago. The Paramounts have been good, but they sorted out the Far Eastern stuff, and that's been good quality for quite a while now.
Yeah,
they brought the Paramounts, which people love. So I think they got another half dozen pedals coming out, which is going to be probably another conversation at some point.
Yeah. Okay, so
PRS.
Yeah, so PRS have done a couple of new SE releases. So Paul's guitar, which is a really interesting one, they're doing an SE version. So you've got there's a few more sort of pickup switching options and things like that. There's a new single cut, which I don't know if you've seen the picture, but it just looks odd. They've put the volume and tone in the strangest place.
No, I haven't seen it.
It's bizarre. It's honestly, it's really, really odd. I don't know about that. And they're doing something else as well. I can't quite remember that one. But the one that really was like, oh wow, they're doing an SE is the Paul's guitar.
Yeah,
because they've only ever done.
I think that's due with us in around March. I think
that's cool.
But
we had a load of stuff in already off them.
A couple of the new acoustics.
Oh wow,
which are really really nice.
Yes, we had some of the new acoustics in on Friday. Stunning, absolutely stunning. There's a Zero Cote one, and Zero Cote seems to be our favorite wood at the moment. Takamine do a Zero Cote back and sides guitar, which is amazing. This one is again amazing. They do this maple quilt top maple back and sides, just outstanding. If they're still here when you're listening to this and you want to come and play them, you should. Because they are, well, it's a PRS acoustic. It's what you'd expect it to be. Should we move on?
Yeah, please.
Let's do it.
Social media comment of the week.
So here we go. Social media comment of the week. Now, Tom has prepared the comment. Oh, it's on the table underneath all the stuff. Do you want to read the comment out?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Andrew wants to read the comment out.
Knuckleheaders.
So that's the name of the user on YouTube, Knuckleheaders. What video was it on, Tom? Can't remember. It was quite
Good
recent.
work, Tom.
It was quite recent. Doesn't matter. Anyway, Knuckleheaders. Sort of side swipe with this one. There was a curveball I didn't expect to come. And now it's been brought out into the open. I can't help but think it every time. Well, you just say what he said.
Jeez, the guy is literally a skinny version of Nick Frost.
Now, for those of you that don't know, Nick Frost is the sort of other the partner in the comedy duo of Simon Pegg and Nick Frost. So Shaun of the Dead, Hot Fuzz, World's End, things like that. I can see it. I know it. It's the teeth. We have the same teeth where the front two are in front of the others. And obviously I've usually got stubble and he's usually got stubble as well. Yeah. So I can see it. I know exactly. Yeah, I agree. Knuckleheaders, I agree. So that is the social media comment of the week.
Social media comment of the week.
So every week we're going to take a top 5. Now, last week was top 5 notable Jeffs. Now, I didn't see this coming, and I'd prepared something far, far more relevant to the podcast than that. But honestly, that's probably the best bit of last week's podcast. And there's been a few customers that have come in and talked about our favorite Jeffs. So what I prepared was my choice of top 5 pedals that came through the shop last year.
Okay.
Now, interestingly, all these brands that I'm going to mention are obviously bringing up new things. The only brand that's on the list that I haven't seen anything from is Boss, interestingly. So I haven't seen anything that's being released by them. I don't know if you've seen anything.
No.
There's been sort of nothing. They got their new amp range.
I was told by somebody in the office with Boss the other day that there's not a great deal coming out at NAMM, but watch out in around about March or April. There's quite a bit coming out then. Some important things, apparently.
That'll be good. So I'm going to rattle through. I won't go into too much detail.
Please.
If you want to know more about my choices and you do come into the shop, ask me. Because I'll waffle on about pedals for as long as you
this is
leave me to.
pedals of 2018.
Yeah, so they were either out last year or they've come. We had them in the shop last year. So no order. It's not a run. First one is the Angry Driver by Boss. We had it and I tried it. And interestingly, I've never been a fan of the Blues Driver. Never bothered me. Never thought it was up to much. I know obviously lots of people use it in front of, Marshalls and things like that. Never bothered me. Was interested because of the JHS collaboration. Now that's the American pedal brand JHS, not John Holmby's Goose.
Yeah.
So that interested me. Tried it and just loved it straight away. So that's on my board. And I use that. That's always on. Funnily enough, always on the Blues Driver side as well. So it's in front of an AC30. Next up is another drive. It is the Friedman BEOD. This will do pretty much anything you want it to do, but it does the heavy stuff exceptionally well. The other pedals that we've had in are the Deluxe and the Dirty Shirley. Andrew?
Dirty Shirley.
You can't not say it in that accent. It's the best. It's the best pedal name for that accent. So yeah, Friedman, obviously they do all the high end amplifier stuff, but yeah, the pedal stuff is wicked. We've got the wah in at the moment as well, which is, I think Tristan's tried a lot of the wahs out against each other when that came in.
Yeah.
And said by far that is the nicest one this year.
Say what?
Say what? So Fender have really upped their game last year with the new line of pedals that they did. So there's currently, I think, 9 pedals in the range, and they are releasing a bunch more in NAMM now. It'll be this week. My favorite 2 of their range is the Marine Layer Reverb and the Pugilist Distortion. Marine Layer is a great reverb pedal. I think for the price, you're not going to get anything better, and the prices have just come down a little bit.
Yeah,
weirdly. So that's now under 100 quid at the time of recording.
You don't get good reverbs under 100 quid generally, do you?
No. So 3 different types of reverb, 2 variations of each. Yeah, great. Interestingly, the delay that they brought out, I didn't feel like did much as a,
we've sold a few of those, and we've sold them to people who are after that kind of immediate slapback kind of thing.
Kind of style, yeah.
I think it's a delay that will suit some people very, very well. But if you're after like a general purpose delay, which will do lots of everything, I don't know if it'll necessarily, tick the general box for that.
Yeah. So that's the Pugilist and the Marine Layer. Now the top pedal, weirdly, is a pedal that's 10 years old. So we started doing electro harmonics early last year, wasn't it? And we ended up doing a video of the Cathedral reverb versus the Boss RV500.
Yeah.
So it's 10 years worth of difference, both digital delays. The technology hasn't changed in the Cathedral, and obviously the Boss is brand new.
I think you were comparing the bit rate.
Yeah, so we were basically blind testing the two, trying to get the sounds as close to each other as possible, and blind testing on different reverb effects.
Which is, it's apples and oranges anyway, in it, in as much as you got 2 different pedals.
Yeah.
Different pedals, they're different kind of architecture and everything inside. So, you're never going to get it exactly the same. But you ask people to comment on just, what felt the nicest.
Yeah. There was a lot of people
reverb,
who went for the
wasn't
Cathedral, wasn't there?
Yeah.
Tom is nodding for the benefit of it. Yeah, it was... Obviously, you get options on the Boss. You get options, and you can do whatever you want, and it'll do whatever. It'll drive your car for you. But you think 10 years... that's 10 years ago.
Vintage digital is a bit of a weird one, isn't it?
Yeah, it is strange. I mean, that might be a thing.
I've got, in the house, I've got a couple of old Zoom, I think they're 9002 units, which are these little, to look at them, they look like a wireless unit that you put in your strap. But in something like 1989, 1990, Zoom produced these multi-effects units, and Richie Sambora used them, Iron Maiden used them, Brian May used them. It was quite a few people adopted these things. They're very, very clever, and for the time, but they had a proper kind of sound to them, an unmistakable kind of digital, but it was good digital sound to them. And you listen to any number of albums recorded between like 1989 and 1991, 1992, and you can't recreate these sounds without this kind of... People used to plug their guitar into the unit and then directly into the desk.
Right.
And yeah, they just sound completely unique. It's great.
We'll have to get them in.
I'll bring one in.
Definitely.
Weirdly, I've got 2 of the same one, because I got one and it's digital, but you plug it in and it takes 50 minutes to warm up before you can get any sound. Yeah.
To warm up, or like to load? Or is it
50? I don't know what it is, but it's about 40-50 minutes before I can get any kind of sound out of it.
I think it's broke.
Yeah, but it works. So, but why would it work after 40-50 minutes and not immediately?
Are you saying 40?
40? Yeah. Even if it was 14.
You have to plan ahead.
Yeah. Well, I used to do. I used to put it on, go down and make tea, and then...
But the other one comes on straight away.
Yeah. I'll bring that one in.
Yeah, please. Yeah.
Otherwise, Otherwise, it'd be.
We could bring in for the podcast, turn it on at the beginning, and then by the time we get to Gears for Fears, It'll be ready to go.
I've come up with another idea for a segment.
Okay.
Elwyn, who is one of our regulars.
Yes.
Kate thought of it the other day, actually. She said we should have a section called, because his name is Elwyn Smiles.
Yeah.
And we should have a segment called Elwyn Smiles. What made Elwyn happy this week? And then just get a little
And just get Elwyn
comment.
to do a little sound bite.
What's made you happy this week, Elwyn? And just like a one sentence kind of.
Brilliant. Let's do that then. So don't forget, if you have got any ideas, if you want to see anything featured or you want anything mentioned, then just let us know. You know, it's brilliant to hear people's feedback. And the podcast, we are learning on how to do it, and you know, we're trying to improve it every single time. Yeah, so it was quite fun to do the jingles, wasn't it?
Yeah.
That is actually on Biscuit News, that is us.
Yeah.
That is Andrew and I singing in our best 80s hair metal voices. And Tom is responsible for social media comment of the week with all his little all that kind of noise.
And biscuit consumption.
As he pats his belly. His Santa outfit is not padding. So we have a section where Andrew just deflates. So that is it for episode 2. We will see you next week.
Not quite as good as episode 1.
We peaked.
Yeah. So thanks for getting involved in the last one. Please leave your comments on this one. On Facebook, YouTube, Twitter.
Pop into the shop.
Email seems sinister.
Yeah.
So, yeah. If you have any social media comments of the week for Adam, send them through.
Create a fake account, pop them on YouTube. And we'll be here same time next week. So we'll see you then for episode 3. Say bye, and
Bye.
bye.